What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. And the first thing I want to talk about is the passing of John Amos. So first off, rest in peace to John Amos. I really didn't like the way the back end of his life went, because it seems as though it was filled with a lot of, physical and medical issues, and also the fact that you had children that were at odds with one another. And it was just a sad way for John Amos to live out the rest of his days. Now, I do understand at John Amos's age, I believe he passed away at the age of 84, you're definitely going to have some medical issues, but for that to be coupled with your two kids, KC and Shannon, going back and forth with one another and bickering, that's not a way to live out the rest of your days, especially when you take into account that their family issues were made public. Now, for those of you who follow me tight, you know that I covered this situation that went down between KC and Shannon, and it seems as though that both of them were accusing one another of trying to take advantage of their father. And the way that the beef presented itself to me when it came to Shannon and KC going at each other, it seems as though they were both fighting for position to get whatever assets that Mr. Amos had left after he passed away, because they knew he didn't have that much longer. If you guys remember, I posted a video of Shannon actually going to Memphis because Mr. Amos had an issue, a medical issue, and she wasn't even allowed in the hospital. But KC was there along with another lady. Now, over the course of the past 3 years, Mr. Amos has been vocal about the distrust that he had for both of his children. He talked about KC being strung out on drugs and always asking for money. He also was laying in a hospital bed, and I posted this footage, if you guys can remember, and KC was hovering over him while he was on the phone getting legal counsel or talking to the police about Shannon allegedly trying to get him for his assets and things of that nature. So in a nutshell, it seems as though that both of them could have been problematic, or Shannon could have been framed to come off as problematic. I'm kind of leaning that way because I have a story to tell you guys after I played a clip of Shannon explaining the fact that she didn't even know that her own father had passed away over a month ago. And hell, we didn't even know, so she found out when we found out, and that's incredibly sad. So what I want to do here is play you guys this clip, and I'll be back.
So Shannon, everybody is wondering what happened here to make KC withhold the news of his death for more than a month and a half, for almost a month and a half.
There are some things that aren't making sense. For example, who had claimed to be my father's publicist was never contracted. We've never seen any paperwork to show that she was his actual publicist with my father's signature on it. She was living with my dad and brother and another person by the name of Eugene Brummett, and just grifters or super fans that came into my life, came into my father's life at my brother's request. And we believe that the three of them conspired together to take advantage of my father, who was diagnosed in 2016 with dementia. I have it in writing from the hospital.
So you guys heard that. So it seems as though when you listen to that, like we're on the outside looking in, right, that KC's main objective was to be close to his father, to get whatever his father had left, and he wanted to keep Shannon away so she didn't get anything. And so you remember when I just talked about the fact that Mr. Amos was in the hospital and KC was hovering over him while he was on the phone with the police or lawyer. I can't remember because I can't find the clip, but he was getting some type of legal direction to see what he could do in regards to Shannon allegedly trying to get him for his assets. Well, it seems to me that John was manipulated by his son and coerced into thinking, and also coerced into trying to get legal counsel to go after his own daughter. Because what KC was doing, in my estimation, right then and there, and that has been over a couple of years ago, he was already setting the stage to be able to walk away with whatever his father had left. He was already trying to get that bag. Now, I'm not trying to say or paint the picture that Shannon may not have some issue with her, but I believe that this ultimately comes down to KC. Now, over a couple of years ago, I believe it was, I posted a video of KC acting sporadic online, and it came from his TikTok page. And you could definitely see that he was under the influence of something. If you guys who follow me tight, you remember I posted a video talking about his behavior and things like that. He looked strung out. And so I get this email from YouTube, and he done went to his TikTok and copyrighted his videos and basically sent me a copyright notification for using copyrighted material. So of course YouTube gives you the information where you can reach out to this particular person. And so I emailed him and asked him what was going on. I didn't understand how all of a sudden a video that you did on TikTok 6 months ago became copyrighted material. And he told me that he was put out there in a bad light. He's trying to change his image, and he needed me to take down 2 or 3 videos. Then he would proceed to remove the copyright inquiry from his end. And he said something in regards to his dad seeing the video and it upset him, right? Now, if his dad really saw the video like he claimed, I don't think that John Amos at the time was sitting back in the hospital looking at YouTube. I think that that woman that's close to him may have came across the video and showed it to John. And John actually questioned him about his behavior, because John knows when his own son is under the influence, and it could have kind of steered John in a direction like, I don't even know if I want to leave you as my power of attorney or even have you on my will. You just don't know what conversation took place. But it prompted KC to copyright that video that showed him under the influence. And I just found that particularly strange. And I'm going to sit here and say this right now. I think that KC is the problem, more of a problem than Shannon. And the last thing I want to add is the fact that John and KC, they were doing TikToks together. Now, of course, John was having some health issues, and so he's not doing any TikToks. And who's to say that he has TikTok on his cell phone, right? But let's just say that he does. When KC put out that video of him acting strange and weird, the next day when I went to KC's TikTok account, that specific video was taken down. So KC was definitely working overtime to get that video removed, not only from my channel, but I hear from other channels as well. And so if I'm gonna keep it real, I'm gonna say that John didn't even have TikTok on his phone. I believe that KC controlled every aspect of John's life, especially in his final days. I believe that John Amos only saw TikTok reactions from the videos that were posted with him and KC when KC showed him those reactions from his phone. I don't believe that Mr. Amos had access to TikTok on his phone, but he was privy to the video that KC put out where he was acting strange based off of the fact somebody else showed him that particular video. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. This is a very sad situation to not know that your father passed away. I don't care what the circumstances are. To not know that your father passed away over 45 days ago and he was cremated is nothing but the devil's work, yo. And KC should be ashamed of himself, because this is a selfish act on his part, because he wanted what his father had left. I'm just keeping it real. But anyway, guys, drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.